Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be the first part for my first update of my beauty low buy year of 2021. So I filmed my introduction to this low buy back in December. I will link it to you if you want to hear more about my reasons why I wanted to start this low buy, and also I will explain my rules in that video. That being said, I'm going to make some quite big rule changes and I will explain those as we go today. But overall, my feelings about consuming makeup have started to change quite a bit, and I will talk about more my feelings in my next video. I'm thinking of doing it get ready with me style, but I feel if I today talked about all of my thoughts and feelings plus the things that I have bought and the rule changes, this would be an hour-long video. Overall, my thoughts are that I do want to kind of like downsize my collection. I do want to start going towards more minimal makeup collection. So what comes to this low buy, there are three different purchasing categories, and they are no buy, limited purchases, and replacements only. What comes to this replacements only category, I actually decided that I'm not going to be talking about these products in these videos because otherwise we would be here forever, because I need to buy quite a bit of skincare replacements, some makeup replacements, because I don't have a huge stash of backups in all of the categories, and that's good, that is my goal. But another thing is that I remember during my beauty replacements only no buy year in 2019 that it got really repetitive when I was talking about the same products in my empties videos, in my replacements haul videos, and in some cases in my project panning videos, in my get ready with me's, and I was just so bored talking about the same things over and over again. And for the most part, these replacements products are something that I do talk in other videos. I will only talk about the replacement products if I have, for example, tested a new product that maybe I was really disappointed with or that I really ended up loving. I wanted to talk about one product that I have actually purchased previously, but it goes under the replacements only category, but I did open my backup and I changed my mind so dramatically after opening the backup that I felt I do want to mention this today, because I have recommended this product previously, but now after opening the backup that ended being a dud, I cannot fully stand behind that recommendation anymore, so that's why I feel it is important for me to mention this. So the product that I'm talking about is the Revolution Renaissance Flick Eyeliner. So I bought the first one of mine back in May last year and I instantly fell in love with the eyeliner. It is so good and mine still works. However, you know, the cap of the product broke. I can still pull the cap off and there is product coming out, but it is really messy. Hopefully you can see that it is super intense. I don't press hard at all. However, even though the product still works, because of the packaging issues and because it is an almost year-old product that is so close to my eye, I decided to open my backup. However, this backup that I bought on Black Friday, it just doesn't work as well. Yesterday I used this for the first time and it worked fine, but today when I was going to use it, it's super dry. Okay, now it works a little bit better, but in the morning when I used it, it was just super dry and the result wasn't good at all. I did some lines there, but I feel it's just so much drier. There is not product coming out the same way. Hopefully you can see that. So I actually took this old one from my empty bin to finish my eyeliner. So yeah, I clearly got a dot. Even if it is only 4 or 5 euros, I do still accept it to be as good as the old one that I used. So yeah, because of that, I don't think I'm going to purchase any more of this. I just don't want to gamble with my money like that. Okay, so that was just something that I wanted to mention quickly before getting to the actual products that I have purchased now in the beginning of this year. So I do want to talk about one foundation. So foundation is a product that goes under the replacements only category, and by the way, I am not super strict with this. I don't need to use the last drop of my last foundation to be able to repurchase the foundation, I can totally have a couple of different options, and I do like to have a full coverage one to filming and then something more hydrating and natural to everyday wear. And I also happen to have a tinted moisturizer. That one, however, I don't wear too often, so I need to consider if it is something really staple in my collection. Anyways, I was able to finish my NYX Born to Glow foundation that I hated. The weird thing about that was that it clinged to all of my imperfections and dry patches like a matte foundation would do, and I don't expect a glowy foundation to do that. So I was able to finish that, and I purchased the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation, and I instantly fell in love with this foundation. First of all, this one has really good coverage. With one pump I am able to get kind of like a more natural finish. It spreads well throughout my entire face, and it is kind of like this medium coverage where everything is kind of like even, but you can totally see through my real skin. However, this is something that is buildable. So if I want to wear this a little bit more for filming, for example, the coverage is actually going to be pretty close to full with a couple of pumps, but also it looks so amazing on my skin. I have heard some people saying that this looks like matte. I don't agree with that at all. I do think it's kind of like satin matte at most, but there's totally some light reflecting from this. And it just makes my skin look really healthy, and it feels so nice and so hydrating. It doesn't cling into any imperfections. I do have a combination skin, and it can be a little bit tricky to know what foundation I'm going to wear. For example, for filming, I do prefer wearing a matte foundation because otherwise with the ring light I'm going to be looking really crazy if I don't have a matte foundation on. But then on every day I don't necessarily like the feeling and look of matte foundation. So this, I would say, is my new favorite everyday foundation. The biggest problem for me with dewy foundations is that when my skin starts getting oily, the makeup starts to really like move. But with this I don't find that happens. Of course, you know, my T-zone still gets oily, but more in a subtle way, I would say. So yeah, not only does this look amazing when I put it on, it looks good throughout the entire day. I feel when it comes to foundation, I don't need to look for a favorite everyday foundation anymore. I had to look for my favorite for a while, but now I have found it, and a great thing about this one is that I can buy it from stores. So many of my favorite brands is not sold in stores in Finland, but Catrice is, and another great thing, it is really affordable. This one costs like €7.99 at my local Mini Money, so I am really happy. Okay, so let's move on and let's next talk about the no buy category. So in the intro I set 3 different categories here, so bronzer, highlight and perfume. However, I have decided to move all of these categories into the replacements only category, and I will explain you why. So first, bronzer. I said it in the intro that it's going to be a bronzer no buy otherwise, but if I finish my theBalm Bahama Mama, I can replace it with the same thing. I don't know, but for me that means replacements only. There is no way I'm going to finish any of my other bronzers this year, but this one I do think I'm going to finish. I have repressed it and I have already hit a little bit of Panther. Another category I decided to move into replacements only is highlighter. So I set highlighter to be a no buy category because I thought that I'm not going to be finishing any of my highlighters necessarily this year. However, there are 2 that are in my 30 by 30 project pan, and I actually think that I'm going to finish at least one of them. So I'm talking about these 2 highlighters over here. The rectangular one is depotted from the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette, and as you can see there is nearly nothing left. And then this square one is depotted from a Care Icon highlighter palette, and even there is a huge pan. I should repress it, but I have been a little bit lazy and haven't done that yet. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be finishing the square one, but I know I'm going to finish the pink one. So I have decided that if I finish any of these highlighters, I can replace it with a similar type of color, because these highlighters I do consider being kind of like staple colors to me. Okay, then the last perfume that was in the no buy category, but I have now moved to the replacements only category, is Perfume. So I did a perfume and nail polish declutter actually this morning. I don't know if I'm going to post this update video first or the declutter video first, but either way I am now left with 6 perfumes. I decluttered 1 perfume that was expired and 2 that I just did not enjoy the scent. And perfume is just one of those things that you cannot really force yourself to wear something you don't like, or maybe you can, but I can't. So anyways, I'm left now with 6 perfumes, and I do feel that is a really good number for me. Even though I want to go towards more minimal lifestyle, having less and just having things that I love, perfume is one of those things that I don't ever see myself having only 2 options, like one everyday perfume and one more like evening wear perfume. I just don't see it, because I am quite a seasonal perfume wearer, and where I live in Finland we do have 4 distinct seasons, so I don't just like to wear the same perfumes that I wear in spring, for example in fall. So I feel I need to have some options, and also of course I want to have some perfumes that are just really soft and everyday, and maybe some that are a little bit stronger. I still don't like to have at least too many so strong perfumes that I would only wear to special occasion, but some perfumes that I could possibly wear both on everyday and for a date night, for example. So yeah, at the moment I do have 6 perfumes in my collection, and for me at the moment it feels like a good number. It allows me to have options, but not so many options that I do get overwhelmed. And also, if I only allow myself to have this number of perfumes, I really need to consider the perfumes that I get, and maybe even try to get a tester before actually purchasing the full size. I think that actually would be smart, or at least going to the store and spraying on the perfume and wearing it a day before making the purchase. But yeah, I am at 6 now, and I have decided to do replacements only with perfumes. So if I finish a perfume, I'm going to allow myself to purchase a new perfume. Okay, then let's move on to the limited purchase category. So here I do have 4 different makeup categories, or 3 different categories plus nail polish. Those I originally allowed myself to purchase for this year. The makeup categories I allowed myself to purchase a limited amount of products. There are eyeshadow palettes that I allowed originally myself to purchase 4. Blushes that I allowed myself to purchase 2, and lip products that I allowed myself to purchase 6. 3 of these categories I am now going to move to my no buy category, because I really do want to downsize my collection, and I do realize that by buying more I'm never going to get to my goal. So I'm just going to stop buying these things. And one of these categories I'm actually going to allow myself to purchase more than originally, because I have had things expiring, I have used up some things, and also some of these things are so old and nasty that it starts to gross me out. So I need to do some replacing in this category, and that is lip products. So let's actually start from there. As I said, originally I allowed myself to purchase 6 lipsticks this year, or lipsticks, or liquid lipsticks, or lip glosses, whatever. Lip liner is the only thing that is replacements only, but this is basically all of the other lip products. Not lip care though. You know what I mean. So I decided to double my original number and allow myself to purchase 12. As I said, some of my lip products are really old. My oldest lip products are from 2016. I have had some staple colors expired during the past year or so. I have also used up some colors. This year I have used up already one lipstick and I know I'm going to be using up 2 more. So even though I will allow myself to purchase 12 more lipsticks, it's not that my collection is just going to grow by 12 lipsticks. Anyways, lipstick is my favorite makeup product and I feel lip product is from all of the products the one product that I like to use most to express myself, even more than eyeshadow. And one thing why I decided to allow myself to purchase this much more lip products than originally is that all of my liquid lipsticks, before just really recently, were really bold colors. However, I didn't have any matte liquid lipsticks that are actually in wearable, everyday appropriate colors, because typically I have preferred my nudes in bullet lipstick formula, or perhaps in lip gloss. However, because of mask wearing, I have really started to appreciate completely transfer-proof options. Not that I always wear a lipstick or a liquid lipstick under a mask, for example to work. I'm going to be wearing the mask for hours. But you know, on days when I maybe will go to grocery shopping or there is something else that I need to do where I need to wear the mask for a while, I totally do appreciate having the option of having like transfer-proof liquid lipsticks. So that is one reason why I allowed myself to purchase more than originally. But also the fact that part of my collection is so old, there's products moving out either because it expired or I used it up. Now there is only one special rule to this, and it is that 4 of these 12 lip product purchases needs to be actually wearable liquid lipsticks, because that was one reason why I decided to allow myself to purchase a little bit more, and I bought 2 of these. So I did purchase 2 of these KVD Vegan Beauty Everlasting Liquid Lipsticks. One of you actually let me know that the Swedish Sephora is now shipping to Finland, which I am so happy about. I'm really happy because KVD Vegan Beauty and also Tarte, that is available at the Swedish Sephora, and also I believe Fenty Beauty. I have never tried anything from Fenty, but those are brands that I have previously not really had access to, except if I ordered from the brand website, but then I need to pay more expensive shipping and taxes and all of that. So I try nowadays to order my cosmetics within European Union or from some online stores based in the UK that are actually able to take care of the customs for the European customers, so-called Beauty Feel Unique stores like this. But anyways, I bought 2 of these lipsticks. So I bought the shades Ludwig and Lolita 2. So I have from this lipstick the shades Santa Sangre, that is like a bright red, and then Exorcism, that is a deep vampy shade. I really do love those lipsticks. I totally do think this is the best matte liquid lipstick formula that I have tried. It is so comfortable, yet still it's completely matte, completely transfer proof, wears so well, but it doesn't feel drying. And you know, some matte liquid lipsticks, they start kind of like peeling throughout the day a little bit. I find these don't do anything like that at all. They do wear really, really well. So yeah, I totally do think this is the best matte liquid lipstick formula that I have tried. So, well, they're not completely dry yet, but let me still show you the swatches. So this is Ludwig and it is described formed nude, so it is just like really neutral nude. And this is a Lolita 2. It is actually quite orangey. I think it's described as something terracotta, but I compared it to my Ofra Miami Fever and it is way less brown than the Miami Fever. Also, the Ofra formula, I only have the Miami Fever, but that is actually not completely transfer proof, and for me the point of a liquid lipstick is that it is transfer proof. So yeah, I don't know what I feel about that, but yeah, these 2 are the ones that I decided to get right now. So there is 2 more neutral matte liquid lipsticks that I can buy what comes to this rule of having to buy 4 of these, and I'm thinking of getting a couple from theBalm. So other than the 4 matte liquid lipstick purchases, The 8th order that I will allow myself can be anything I feel is lacking from my collection, anything I want to buy, and I have bought 2 bullet lipsticks. So first I bought the Urban Decay Wise lipstick in the shade Back Talk, and this one is like a kind of mauvey pink. It is a really beautiful color. I have worn it once. There you can see it. So a beautiful color, and this is their Comfort Matte formula, and it is a really comfortable kind of like satin formula. Even though it says Comfort Matte, I don't think it's really that matte, but it wears pretty well. And then I bought the Catrice Demi Matte lipstick in the shade Nude Crush Everyday. It is like a really light, kind of like little bit cooler, dusty pink. Not too cool, however, because that would make me look ghostly. So I used to have, there is the lipstick, I used to have the e.l.f. matte lipstick in Tea Rose back in the days, and I looked like a corpse when I wore that. I think this is still wearable for me, but it is totally that like dusty light pink. And that's actually something that lacked from my collection for quite a while, so I am happy to have that. And this is a really nice formula. It is matte, but not super drying, and it stays on really well. So yeah, 4 lipsticks I have purchased now, and I do have 8 left. There are some staple colors that I do think I will replace that expired or that I have used up, but you know, we'll see. I probably will make some more lip product purchases by the next update, but these are the ones that I have gotten now. Okay, the rest of the categories I decided to move to no buy category, even though I have used some of the purchases, but not all. So let's start with nail polish. I bought 1 nail polish in the beginning of the year. This one is the Perfume Jelly High Shine nail paint in the shade Nutmeg. This is our stunning color. It is this warm dusty pink. I absolutely love nail polish like this. I used to have a similar color from the Body Shop, but it has probably been 5 years since the Body Shop sold any nail polishes, so that was a long time ago. But yeah, a color like this was totally something I wanted to add to my nail polish collection. However, even though I originally decided to allow myself to purchase 4 nail polishes this year, I decided that I'm going to go on a nail polish no buy. So I did recently my nail polish declutter. Well, I only decluttered 2 out of my 22 nail polishes, but I'm still left with 20 nail polishes, and my goal would be to get my nail polish collection down to 10. And the rest of the nail polishes that I have are something that I enjoy and that I can see myself panning my way through to my goal number. But I just realized that if I keep purchasing more nail polishes, I'm not going to get to my goal ever. So yeah, because of that I am going to go on a no buy. Sure, there are some colors that I would like to add into my collection. For example, in my ranking my nail polish video I said that I would like to add a navy nail polish into my collection. But do I really need that? No, I don't need that. I do have a black nail polish that I absolutely love. Then I do have a couple of deeper vampy nail polishes. So I don't need the navy nail polish, even though it's kind of like a cool and classic sort of color. So I feel, you know, what comes to nail polish, I have everything I need. I'm probably not going to be finishing anything this year except my Project Polish nail polishes. Now, if I finish one of my favorite nail polishes, like my top 6 that I talked about in my nail polish ranking video, I probably would allow myself to repurchase. But I don't honestly see that happening because I usually prioritize wearing those that I do want out of my collection. So yeah, I'm going to be on a nail polish no buy, hopefully until my nail polish collection is down to 10 nail polishes, so that would take probably quite a while. Another product that I'm going to move to my no buy category is blush. Now, originally I allowed myself to purchase 2 blushes this year and I bought 1. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. I absolutely do love this blush. You have heard me talk about this blush so much. I used one of these up completely, and since then I have been missing it and talking about how much I want it back to my collection. So let me show you what it looks like. It is this perfect mauve sort of neutral blush. It's so stunning. I'm not going to swatch it to you because I don't think this necessarily swatches the best, but it is just gorgeous when I do wear it. And I'm so happy now that I have this in my collection, and I really do feel that my blush collection is complete. There is not a single color of blush that I would like to add into my collection. So I'm really happy where my blush collection is right now, and we all know that blush is probably the product that takes the longest to use up. It takes so long to use up one blush. So I'm not going to finish any of my blushes anytime soon. The only blush I have even hit pan on is the e.l.f. Baked Plus in the set Rich Rose. I did hit pan on that really recently, and it is a really baby pan showing, and maybe I will be able to finish it within a year or so. Other than that, I have not even pan on my blushes. So yeah, I totally don't need to purchase any more blushes. I feel my blush collection is complete. Okay, then let's talk about eyeshadows. So, as I said, originally I allowed myself to purchase 4 eyeshadow palettes. I bought 2 and I decided to go on an eyeshadow palette no buy, I should say, because I will allow myself to purchase singles in case I'm lacking something. But I'm going to go on an eyeshadow palette no buy, hopefully for years. I know eyeshadow is the category that most people here in beauty YouTube are kind of like the most tempted to overbuy, and it is the category that most people are collecting. I do enjoy doing different eyeshadow looks, and I do enjoy like playing with my eyeshadow, and I have enjoyed collecting it a little bit, having different options, but at the same time I would just, I don't know, wear the same basic neutral colors every day. If I could decide, like if today I lost all of my eyeshadow palettes, I would only buy a couple of neutral palettes and I would be fine. I don't know what my ideal eyeshadow palette number would be. Maybe in a really ideal world 5, but I am so far away from there. Even by project panning, I don't think I'm going to get to 5 palettes in 10 years because it takes so long to finish eyeshadow. That's another thing. I have been project panning a lot to the point where it has often been hate panning, and then I'm just wondering why I'm doing this myself, why I'm punishing myself by forcing myself to finish eyeshadows that I don't necessarily even love. Why cannot I just allow myself to wear whatever I like to? But I guess part of it is because of guilt that I have bought so many things, and this obsession of getting these things used. I'm planning on doing some declutters. I don't know if I'm going to declutter that many eyeshadow palettes from my collection. There is a couple that I'm considering decluttering, maybe 3. And then there is my 2 Panda palettes that I know are going to leave my collection this year or soon after this year. But even after those, there will be so many palettes that I don't need to buy a new eyeshadow palette in the next 10 years if these just stay usable. If I keep buying more eyeshadow palettes, I'm never going to get to my goal of having a more minimal, a more curated collection, and also I feel I'm never going to be fully able to really find my makeup style. That is something I want to find, because now it has felt that I'm wearing eyeshadow looks for filming, for YouTube, for Instagram. I don't really take Instagram pictures, but I oftentimes feel that my makeup looks are like Instagram looks. They're not looks for real life. Like the look I'm wearing today, for example. Yes, I like this look, it was fun look. I'm trying to finish this Venetian red from my Panda palette, so that's why I'm wearing a lot of pinks nowadays. But this look feels so Instagrammy. It doesn't feel like real life. So yeah, I feel I just need to stop buying eyeshadow altogether. So originally I thought I will allow myself to purchase 4 eyeshadow palettes, but I lowered it to 3 because I realized that a lot of the palettes that I actually want are higher end palettes, and the 2 first palettes that I bought, which I'm going to talk about really soon, these were about 50 euros each. So I thought that it makes more sense for me to allow 3 palette purchases for myself, because if everything that I buy is expensive, you know, I don't necessarily want to buy 4 palettes. And I was really long thinking that I'm going to get the Artist Couture Supreme Nude palette. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that color story. However, if I'm being completely honest with myself, I do have all of those shades in my collection except the mustard. and the mustards in the palette are the shades that are pulling me in. I do have one mustard eyeshadow, by the way, in the e.l.f. Opposites Attract eyeshadow palette, but I don't really like the entire palette. I don't like the color story, I don't like the cool tones, but I only keep the palette because of the mustard shade. And for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep an 18 pan eyeshadow palette because of one shade. So yeah, I'm considering of decluttering that palette, but you know, it doesn't solve the problem to buy this another palette because of mustards. So instead, I have been looking for mustard singles, and that's what I'm going to buy. I found one from Nabla that could be sort of like a yellowish mustardy brown, and then I found one from Inglot, so I think I'm going to buy those. And after those, I actually don't think there is any eyeshadow colors lacking from my collection that I actually would love and use. Yes, there are some colorful eyeshadows lacking from my collection. There is a reason for that, because I don't typically like that kind of colors. But if it happens that there is something lacking that I want, I'm just going to look for a single. I don't need to purchase any more palettes. So yeah, I decided that I don't want to get the Artist Couture palette. I am so proud of myself because I was really lusting over the palette for a year. However, I do want to talk about the palettes that I bought. So I bought the Lime Crime Venus XL2 eyeshadow palette and the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. So both of these palettes are kind of like springy and soft and maybe a little bit fun palettes, but not too much. So if there was something lacking from my eyeshadow palette collection, it was totally palettes like these that were clearly more like springy, early summer sort of palettes, because a lot of my palettes, they are more on the summer, fall and winter side of things. So I don't regret getting these palettes at all. I am really happy to have them and to be able to use them. But right now I feel my eyeshadow palette collection is complete with the exception of those mustards. But if we don't think about those now, everything else that I would ever need I have, and more. But let me show you these palettes quickly. So I got the Lime Crime Venus XL2 eyeshadow palette. This one I bought from Look Fantastic. They always have really good sales, so I think I got like 15 or 20% out of this, and this one was about 50 euros. So as you can see, this is this gorgeous combination of some rosy tones and pinks, some shade greens and other light greens, and also some bronzy tones and browns. So a really beautiful color story. I have wanted this for a really long time, and then last spring Emily Noel talked about this palette in her spring palette recommendations video, and that just confirmed my thoughts that I do really want this palette. So I am happy to have this now, and I'm going to make this my palette of the month next month. And then the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde. In fact, Emily Noel talked about this palette also in the same video, and my interest towards this palette peaked there. Back then I only bought vegan makeup. I don't restrict myself to only purchase vegan makeup. This is not vegan, it contains carmine. But yeah, my interest peaked there, and I just wanted it more and more, and I finally decided to get it. So this is what the palette looks like. So it is this beautiful combination of some kind of like soft neutrals, some little bit warmer shades, and some beautiful pastel-y cooler tone shades. I actually wasn't supposed to buy my another palette before April, but I was thinking about this one being the second palette for me, and when I went to Cult Beauty to purchase this Hourglass blush, I noticed that Cult Beauty was having some Huda Beauty palettes, including this, 30% off, so I just decided to get it. I was anyway thinking of getting this one for the second palette of the year. I was thinking of waiting until my birthday and using a birthday coupon, but I realized that even if I do have a birthday coupon code, I'm not going to be able to get 30% off. Usually those are 20%. So yeah, that's why I bought this a little bit early, and I am really happy to have this in my collection. This one I'm going to make my palette of the month in June. I think it's a great color story for early summer, and also in June Mercury will be in retrograde, so yeah, it's just so fitting to the month. But yeah, those are the two eyeshadow palettes that I bought. Hopefully the two last palettes that I will buy in years. I hope that. I mean, of course, some of my really oldest palettes, they are starting to be old. So at some point for sure, some of the old palettes are starting to expire, and maybe some of the really staples will expire. but I feel at least for a couple of years I should be able to get without buying any new eyeshadow. I just don't want to get new eyeshadow, I just want to use these ones that I have. So that was everything for today. This video was super long and I didn't even go too much in detail about my feelings. So that will be the second part of this update. But yeah, those are some rule changes that I decided to make. So as I said, some categories I moved to the replacements only because it only makes sense to have them there. And what comes to my limited purchase categories, lipstick is the only thing I will allow myself to purchase this year, but nail polish, blush and eyeshadow, it is going to be a no-buy with those categories. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you on my next one. Bye bye!